I know you think your squirrels are really smart. Well, I have some ways for you to outsmart the squirrels. Join us next on The Garden Gate.
You're watching Newswatch, the 5 o'clock show.
Hi, I'm Brenda from the Avant Garden Shop, and welcome to a new segment on the 5 o'clock show called The Garden Gate. Today I'm going to talk to you about squirrels and feeding the birds in your backyard, because it can be a real problem to keep the squirrels off your bird feeders. So we've got some different baffles here to show you that you can put on a pole like this. So if you can set up a pole system in your backyard that's in a good spot that the squirrels can't just jump to, a baffle will work to stop them from climbing up the pole. This one, they just rests on a little clamp, and the squirrels just cannot get past it. It's just too long and too wide for them to get past. And then this pole system, different kinds of baffles fit on it. You can put lots of different feeders on it. So it's a really great way to protect all of your bird feeders from the squirrels. This baffle that I have in my hand is a little bit of a different style because it has a split in it. And a lot of people have shepherd's hooks, which have the feet on them, as well as the hooks across the top, and you can't fit this stovepipe style baffle onto those. So this one actually has a little clamp that fits on the shepherd's hook, and then you can just wrap it around and clip it together. And that also works to keep the squirrels from climbing up your pole. So like I said, you just need to make sure that your pole's in a good spot, that they can't just jump from somewhere else onto the pole above the baffle. They can jump up from the ground about 4.5 feet. So you need to set your baffle fairly high. This one probably should be just a little bit higher. So right around 4.5 feet. They can launch themselves sideways. So say from a deck rail or a tree branch. They can launch themselves, almost fly, 10 or 12 feet. So you have to keep that in mind when you're setting up your pole system, that it's in a good spot that they can't just jump to it. So you could also have a baffle like this one, where your feeder is just hanging underneath it. So if you don't want to set up a pole system like this, you can hang this in a tree, and as long as the feeder is hanging below it, and then again, as long as the squirrel can't just jump from the side, he won't be able to get to your bird feed, because this is a great baffle. He'll just get on here, and you can see this little guy right here. He'll slide right off, and this will just swing around. I also have feeders that have this same sort of top on them as well, so you can just do a feeder with the baffle already installed. And there are a few different baffles like this. So one other kind of baffle that you can have, they're specific to certain feeders, is one like this that actually fits on top of the feeder. This is a really large feeder. I have smaller versions of it, but it just goes right over top like that. So that would again stop the squirrel from coming across the top. It's also great for protection from the weather and even predator birds that can dive bomb your little birds. So thanks for joining me on The Garden Gate. I'm Brenda Ivy from the Avant Garden Shop, and we'll see you next time.
The Garden Gate is brought to you by the Avant Garden Shop, your destination for gardening accessories and backyard birding supplies.